everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing good. Now we are going to understand measure of variability and let us start on the concept. Again, this is one more descriptive concept which is measure of variability. So what is a variability, guys? Variability is a spread or dispersion of data points within a data set. For example, here if you'll see in this image, right? Consider that you have a mean line, right? How normal distribution is like? By normal distribution, correct? This is your mean line and this is how your bell curve around that mean line, correct? So this is you are like, you can imagine that all data points are present in this range, correct? And this is your normal distribution. If my data is getting spread like this on this area, then how my graph is going to be like this, right? Here on this side, going to be like this. So what we are saying, okay, here the data is spread more. Data is in a higher spread, which is wrong, right? We should always keep our mean, like our data points around mean line. Then it is going to be easier for machines to learn from those data and give you the best predicted output. Right? Again, like I have already mentioned, here the individual values, right, are differing from each other based on the amount of spread. So how we are measuring that? We have a range, we have interquartile range, we have variance, we have standard deviation. So all these are different kind of scales or different kind of measures to calculate the amount of dispersion, how much it is mean line. Now let us understand it. So range again is a range of a distribution is again a difference between largest and smallest values in a data set. This is again one more example. However, the range always cannot give you the complete view of the entire distribution, because sometimes what is happening in a data set, there are few outlier values. If you take that outlier as a highest point without mapping that whether that value is outlier or not, then the machine will mislead during that time. The machine will get confused and it will not give you the correct output whenever it is. So it may overlook the important aspects of that data set. That is why sometimes this range is getting considered as a less significant. And how it is getting calculated, like I've already shown you, we have lower value, we have higher value. So here one example, here my higher value is 70, lower value is 30. This is the difference. And why we are considering the difference? That means we are saying my data point should present in between this line. Okay. If my data point is crossing this, then we may consider that as a outside value or outlier, or we will not consider that value. Second, we have interquartile range. What is interquartile range? Interquartile range, again, we have something called the median line in between. How we are calculating? We have a median line, and from that median line, we have to take 50% on this side, 50% on the other side. The 50% on the left side is called a Q1, the 50% on the other side, and we have something called interquartile range, which is a Q3 minus Q1. So how we are calculating it? First, arrange the data set from smallest to largest. I have already explained this step in our previous videos, where we are calculating from box plot and everything. It is very helpful tool to find out the outliers. Then you will locate the median value from that data set. Then after that, you will take whatever the other two halves are present, you take the middle value of it, and that is how your range you will get. You just need to take Q3 minus Q1, right? And Q1 again here is nothing but a median of the lower half of the set. This is lower half, this is upper half, correct? So this image you can, so it will make you more understand, right? Median, the lower half, this is an upper half. And this is how we are calculating the IQR. And again, I have explained you in box plot how, like, what is the measure. We have whiskers and everything, and how we are calculating whiskers, right? Those formulas and everything I have already explained. So, if you want to get more clarity, go through those videos. We have again another concept which is called variance. Again, what is a variance? Like, we'll take the first data point, consider you have data points, and you will take, first you will calculate the mean of all those data points. Take one data point and just take the minus, like get the difference each data point with mean, then get a square and divide it with sample size. That is going to give the, and again this is just a quantified method to understand how spread the data is, okay, from the mean line. And here we have few characteristics to consider, like it is going to tell you the quantification of the degree of spread, right? Then we will, with this method, we will know how much data is clustered or how much it is spread out on the mean line. And like I already mentioned, let us go through the variance calculation. So how we are calculating, guys? So I have taken a sample variance, okay? So majorly we are calculating from sample. Population is just a, like, you need to remember the symbol because most of the times we will use called mean, okay? The symbol is called nu, and we are considering that nu in most of the cases. So just understand the symbols, but the difference and methods and calculations all are same. It is just difference is one formula is for population, another formula is for sample. So how we are going to calculate, like I have already mentioned, if we have 10 data points, we need to take each data point. First we will calculate the mean of the data point, then we will subtract data point with the mean, then after that we will square it, then we will take all summations and we will divide it by n minus 1. N is the number of samples. So here, if number of sample is 10, then you have to take 10 minus 1. That is how you calculate the variance. If you want to remember the formula, yes, you have to remember the formula here. Then we have something called standard deviation. Standard deviation is again nothing, it's just what I can say, the square root of variance, right? So here we have calculated already the variance, right? So standard deviation, again, it's a quantification method on how dispersed and spread out the data from the average, right? So how you will measure it? Consider that if the values are either clustered tightly around the mean, that means it has low standard deviation, and low. At the same time, if the data has a high standard deviation, means high variance and high standard deviation around high spread, correct? So again, standard deviation is a square root of variance. Like I've already mentioned, if you know the variance formula, it's just a square root of it. So what is the square root? If you have taken square, it's just a singular value of that, or it's just a like power of 1. When you are considering that as a power of 2, here it is a power of 1. Then we have something called covariance. What is a covariance, guys? Covariance, again, it's a linear relationship between two variables and on which direction those two variables are proceeding on on their behavior. So like when we are talking about directions, again here we have positive direction and negative direction of variables. Okay, so positive means when one variable here means one data point goes up to the other, then another one will go up. That is what it is called positive. Whenever we are calling that is a negative, when one variable goes up, another will goes down. Another will go down. That is what a negative. So that is how we are defining relationship. And here you can see I have given 3 examples. One, the middle one here, and the middle one here is having 0 covariance because it's just a spread out data. Okay? No data is dependent on each other, and it is very helpful measurement to understand the relationship between dependent and independent variable. We will understand more on that when we will start working on it. But just understand the concepts behind it because that is more important. And what is positive covariance? See, each data getting dependent on each other and making a line like this. And again, what is a large negative covariance? It's on negative direction, right? That is what large negative covariance. And how we are calculating for a sample size of n, we have, this is your formula, guys. Again, just don't have to remember the formula, but understand what exactly is happening and how they are calculating. So, suppose you have xi and yi, these are the individual data points, and why you are telling xi and yi, because consider that one value is here, another value is here, another value is here. What is this? This is your y, your x, correct? How it is getting presented? First point, second point, third point, likewise, correct? So that is how you like, if you see, then this is your x1 or y1, then this is your y2, this is your x2, likewise, correct? That's how you will calculate. So here xi and yi are nothing but your data points, right? Then you will, once you will know everything, all the x values, you will take mean of that, x mean, then y mean, right? Then after that, you will take difference between each data point with x mean, each data point of y in y mean. Then you just need to multiply it, then divide it by your sample, and when you will divide it with your sample, just need to take before that summation of all, because we are calculating for total data points, right? That is how your covariance is calculated. Then we have one more very important concept, correlation, and it is an important aspect on your like, if you will find, if you go ahead with the pandas library, there is something called like we have heat map where we are understanding, like I already explained, right? I already explained on the heat map graph. There we are understanding each variable is how they are correlated with each other, and based on that we will take a final call whether we have to consider those variables or not for further studies, right? So again, correlation is, like I already mentioned it, we will understand the relationship between two variables, give you the direction, strength of the linear association, right? How much the correlation going to be. And we have again positive correlation, that means that means variables will move in same direction. We have many variables, right? So all those variables will move in same direction. That means positive correlation. Negative correlation means it will move in opposite direction. 0 means no correlation. See here, one example. Here no correlation between any data point. It just spread out like that. Here it's a negative correlation. That means it is opposite to positive. Here this is your positive correlation, right? And we have a measure to, like, we have a constant, I can say, to which will quantify the relation, and that ranges from -1 to +1. And we will understand more when we start with the heat map, and you will relate during that time. So remember these concepts right now, and that is why I am going with the flow, so that you will, when that concept will come, this thing will trigger, okay, -1 to +1 is how we have taken, right? And most of the times, right, in heat map, if you'll see, there 0.9 is the thing which you are considering if, like, it has a strong correlationship among each other or not, right? So, and it does not imply that one variable causes another. Again, one more concept we have to understand, which is a causation. Causation signifies a direct relationship between two variables, and both variables are responsible to each other when we are considering about causation. And this is a very important concept. It may come in your interview because most of the times people are asking questions on this thing. If somebody wants to go ahead with data scientist role, they have to have some knowledge on machine learning and they have to have strong knowledge on statistics. So they will get more questions on statistics. So causation again, it's a simpler format of cause and effect. If one variable causes some effect on the other variable, right? That is what cause and effect. And for example, smoking causes lung cancer, right? That is cause. Smoking is a cause. And what it will lead, the effect, cause cancer. That is how both are dependent on each other, right? Again, I have shown few differences between correlation and covariance. So one thing is, right, correlation again, are you finding much difference? It is not. Only thing is, correlation is a simplified form of covariance. Again, right, correlation, the simplified form of covariance, and it has a range of -1 to +1. Like I have already shown, right, we will understand it in the heat map concept. Then covariance again is in direction of linear relationship. Like there is no measurement here, right? Like we are not measuring, or it does not have any constant to quantify that. It's just a direction. It is going to tell you, okay, in which direction. It's a positive direction or negative direction. If it is a positive, it's good. If it's negative, loosely coupled or loose relationship between variables. And negative direction, it is tending, right? Second difference, you can say that it is a dimensionless value, right, among different data sets. However, this value depends on the units of variables involved. What kind of data you are considering in case of covariance, and you are not, you like irrespective of the type of data, you need to find the correlation, can relate in that way. But in case of covariance, you need to know similar type of data, how they are making a direction, whether between among those data, how linearly they are represented, correct? If one, see again, correlation is what? If one event occurs, it directly leads to the other. However, one event does not cause the another. That is, like, you can remember between the correlation and causation. That is one more difference I have given you. In a correlation, if one event occurs, it directly leads to the other. However, one event cannot be a cause of the other. However, in case of causation, one event is directly causing the other event. That is how one difference will get between correlation and causation. And this is the difference between correlation and covariance. It does not imply that one variable causes another, right? It's covariance. So, with this, we are completed with this measure of variability. That is all for now, guys. We will cover next topics on statistical concepts. Start subscribing, like, share your comments, share your feedback, share it with your friends. And till that time, stay healthy. Have a good rest of the whole week. Thank you. See you.